The Galactic Council had sent their warning in triplicate, stamped with emergency seals, and delivered by armed courier. Kendall read it for the third time, her amber eyes narrowing as she processed the words on the datapad. Dangerous predator species. Juvenile specimen. Documented knowledge of 47 lethal combat techniques. Approach with extreme caution. She looked up at the viewing window of the quarantine bay, where a small figure sat cross-legged on the floor, seemingly absorbed in arranging colored blocks into some kind of pattern. The human child, they called him Roman, couldn't have been more than 12 standard years old. His dark hair fell across his forehead as he concentrated, and there was something unsettlingly calm about the way he moved. Kendall was Zith, a species known throughout the galaxy for their diplomatic prowess and conflict resolution. Her people had brokered peace between warring civilizations for millennia. She had volunteered for this assignment because she believed in rehabilitation, in understanding rather than fear, but even she felt a flutter of uncertainty as she prepared to enter the bay. "Commander," her assistant Vec chirped nervously, his scales shifting through worried purple hues. "The protocols specifically state—" "I know what they state," Kendall interrupted gently, "but that child has been alone in there for 6 cycles. Someone needs to make contact." She pressed her palm to the access panel. The door hissed open. Roman's head snapped up instantly, his posture shifting in a way that made Kendall's instincts scream danger even though he remained seated. Those human eyes, brown and unexpectedly warm, tracked her every movement as she stepped inside. "Hello, Roman," she said, keeping her voice soft and non. "My name is Kendall. I'm here to help you help me." The boy's voice was surprisingly steady for someone so young. "Like the last 3 stations tried to help me." Kendall settled herself onto the floor, maintaining a respectful distance. "I read your file. The mining colony, the transport ship, the detention facility. You defended yourself each time." "They attacked first," Roman said simply. "I just reacted." 47 different ways to react. Apparently, Kendall tried to keep her tone neutral, curious rather than accusatory. For the first time, something like emotion flickered across the boy's face. Sadness, perhaps. Or resignation. "My dad was a Marine, before the colony got hit. He said I needed to know how to protect myself out here." Roman's hands stilled on the blocks. Guess he was right. Kendall felt her heart's ache. This wasn't a monster. This was a traumatized child who'd lost everything and been forced to survive in a galaxy that feared him. The door hissed open again, and Kendall turned, surprised. No one was scheduled to. She froze. The human who entered was massive by any species standards. His frame built like the heavy world warriors of the Chronox species, but with a predator's grace. He wore the distinctive uniform of Earth's Marine Corps, medals glinting on his chest, and his weathered face bore scars that told stories of countless battles. "Annemitagrid Martinez, only, Fort 7. The Marine's voice was a deep rumble as he looked at Roman with what Kendall could only describe as professional interest. "Kid, we need to have a talk." Roman stood slowly, his body language transforming into something Kendall recognized from her xenopsychology training pack recognition. Hope bloomed on the boy's face. You're from Earth, Gunnery Sergeant Martinez's son, and when I heard the council was keeping one of our cubs in a cage, treating him like some kind of feral animal, I pulled every favor I had to get here." Martinez's hard expression softened slightly. "Your father was Marcus Reeves, wasn't he? Served under me before he retired to that colony." Roman nodded, his composure finally cracking. "You knew my dad. Best damn Marine I ever commanded." Martinez moved further into the room, and Kendall noticed how he positioned himself, protective, not threatening. "And if Marcus only taught you 47 techniques, then he was going easy on you. Probably wanted you to have something resembling a normal childhood first." Kendall stood, her diplomatic instincts warring with a growing sense of alarm. "Sergeant Martinez, the council's position is that this child is already dangerously overtrained for with respect." "Commander Kendall," Martinez interrupted, his tone polite but firm. "The council doesn't understand humans. We're not the apex predators of our world because we're the strongest or the fastest. We're apex predators because we learn, we adapt, and we teach. This boy isn't dangerous because he knows how to fight. He's in danger because he's alone, traumatized, and surrounded by people who fear him instead of helping him." Martinez turned back to Roman. "Your dad taught you hand-to-hand. I'm guessing close quarters stuff, the basics, and some weapons," Roman added quietly, "and how to use the environment. And now you're going to learn the rest." Martinez's expression was stern but not unkind. "Not because you're a weapon, but because you're a Marine's son, and we take care of our own. You're going to learn discipline, honor, and when not to fight. You're going to learn that strength isn't just about how many ways you know to take someone down. It's about protecting those who can't protect themselves." Kendall watched the transformation in Roman's posture. The defensive wariness was melting away, replaced by something she'd read about but never witnessed: human pack bonding. "The council won't allow," she began. "The council," Martinez said, meeting her eyes with surprising understanding, "will learn what every species eventually learns about humanity. We're loyal to our pack, and this boy's pack. They can try to cage him, fear him," or he gestured to Kendall, They can let someone like you help him heal while someone like me helps him channel what his father taught him into something honorable. Kendall looked between the grizzled Marine and the boy who was no longer alone. Her mission was to rehabilitate, to help Roman integrate into galactic society. Perhaps that didn't mean suppressing what he was, but understanding it. 48 techniques to start, she said finally, surprising herself. But for every combat method you teach him, Sergeant, you teach him 2 ways to resolve conflict without violence. Deal. Martinez's grin was fierce and approving. You might understand humans better than most, Commander Deal. As Kendall watched Martinez begin to work with Roman, demonstrating not just technique but philosophy, she updated her report to the council. They had been wrong about one thing. Roman wasn't dangerous because he knew 47 ways to kill. He was dangerous because he'd been alone, afraid, and treated like a monster. Now he had a teacher, a purpose, and someone who believed in him. The galaxy would just have to learn that humans weren't monsters to be caged. They were pack animals who thrived when given purpose and belonging, and possibly, Kendall thought with a mixture of concern and admiration, they were about to have one very well-trained young Marine on their hands.